Hello everybody, welcome back. It's me, your old pal Orpheus, with another edition of Orpheus Plays. We're here playing Blade and Sorcery. We're doing survival mode in the arena today, and we're gonna talk about something that's very important, and that's me. Or maybe it's you, right? We're going to talk about narcissism today. Oh yes, that's right. Orpheus loves to hear himself talk, so we're going to have an episode about narcissism. So stay tuned for that. Hey, I hope you're doing well wherever you are today, whether it's day or night, or you just accidentally started the survival mode because you reached out and grabbed a weapon. That's alright, we'll keep going. I hope you're doing awesome today, no matter where you are. Okay, let's get things started off with the first traditional slow motion kill of the day. I think what I'm going to do is try to grab this pot real quick. We're going to blast him from behind, bring him right to us. Yes! Oh, that is what you're looking for here on Orpheus Plays. Anyway, so what we're going to talk about today, like I said, is narcissism. And I think, look, if you watch true crime, right? If you watch true crime channels here on YouTube, or you listen to a true crime podcast or something like that, I think you might have noticed a term that's popping up more and more often, right? And it is the term narcissistic personality disorder, or narcissism for short, okay? Now, what does that mean? Well, narcissism is a psychological condition. Oh, before we get any further in here, I want to say something very clear, and I post this on some of my videos at the end, in the comments, the description, and it's this. I am not a therapist. I am not a licensed anything when it comes to psychology, psychiatry, anything like that. I have, however, taken several classes in my life, and you know what? Above all, I am someone who is a real person who deals with real issues throughout their life, and I think that a lot of you are the same way. And so as someone that's gone through a lot of different things in my life, I think I can share a little bit of knowledge and wisdom. So, like I said, before we go on, I'm not anyone licensed or I don't have any certifications or anything like that. So don't take anything what I say as like some sort of, I don't know. Don't take this into an argument saying, well, Orpheus said and he's the expert. So, no, I'm not. I'm just someone who understands concepts and in my case lives through a lot of them. So, narcissistic personality disorder. It is something that comes around, and it's part of something called the dark triad. Okay, the dark triad is antisocial personality disorder, narcissism, and I forget what the third one is. Probably sociopathy. And I've done another episode just recently on sociopathy, what it means to be a sociopath, and I have been diagnosed with sociopathy. I'm a diagnosed sociopath, but don't worry, I don't have a bunch of people in my crawl space or anything. That's not how that works. Okay? But as someone that is dealing with situations like that, I do have what's called the dark triad. Does that make me a bad person? Not at all. It makes me someone that is a little bit more complicated when it comes to how I see life. But narcissistic personality disorder. It means that you are all about you. You're selfish to the point where What? You're selfish to the point where you will make choices to benefit yourself over other people, including friends, family, loved ones, co-workers, everything else. It means that you believe that your life is the most... Ooh, dude, screw you, I'm going home. Ah! Look at that! I caught it and threw it back at him. Oh. But it means that you prioritize yourself, your needs, your desires, your wants, your, everything that you put in life is you first, no matter what. And you will make efforts towards that to preserve the feeling that you are important beyond measure, that you are competent beyond measure. There's something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. You may have heard of this before. The Dunning-Kruger effect means that there's the less you know about something, the more you think you know about something, right? I've talked about this with weapons training in a long ago video about training with weapons. You can start learning weaponry, right? And when you start off, you start learning and you immediately become, good with a weapon. But it also means that Wow, that's gonna burn. I feel like Michael Jackson. Deep joke there. Deep cut joke. Anyway, what was I talking about? You get to this point where everything is about you. You, nothing else, and you're the most important person. Well, what that does is it puts a barrier between you and life. And it makes it so you think that you're the most important person, and you know more than you know. So with weapons training, once you learn something, I always say, and a lot of trainers will say this too, first you get to the point where you know how to be dangerous with a weapon. And that's sort of the Dunning-Kruger effect. You pick up a sword, right? You're so excited, and you go to classes. You go to your first few classes for training with a sword, right? And you learn your first patterns, right? Do I have a sword with me? Ooh, you missed. Oh, another in the face. Damn you. So you get your sword and you're like, you go there the first few lessons and you learn some stuff like a riposte and stuff like that. And you're like, yeah, I am a sword man now. Aha, right? And you go out there and you start doing your thing. And let's say you take your sword out to a park and you're doing stuff with it, right? And you're swinging it around. And all of a sudden you go shunk and you chop your foot off. All right. Now, as someone that's almost done something similar, I have a video on that one. I think that one's the how not to do first aid. Maybe I'll link it up here. We'll see. Anyway, so that's the point. You get to the point where you are dangerous but not proficient. So the Dunning-Kruger effect is something that kind of goes along with narcissism because you think all so highly about yourself that you can do anything, right? Jack of all trades. I can drive a car at 100 miles an hour. I can pilot a plane. Oh, no, it's no big deal. I've seen on YouTube how to be an Formula F1 racer. Just put me behind the wheel. No problem, right? It's also that idea of, like, you see someone doing a job or they write a paper or something and you go, I can do so much better than that. All right. So why am I bringing up narcissism and kind of defining it a little bit? Well, like I said, there's more and more instances of it that you start seeing pop up in society. And I think part of what's wrong with that is we've developed a society where narcissism is kind of a regular thing, right? Everyone has... Oh no. Everyone has a touch of narcissism. Now, this is how it works with psychology. Everyone has a touch of something, okay? Everyone has a touch of almost everything, as a matter of fact, right? If you go through abnormal psych, and this is always something, it's a universal experience. When a psych student or someone that's taking psych classes, they hit that point where it's abnormal psychology, right? And it's pretty early on in those classes. You get to start learning about all the screwed up, disorders and stuff. And just about everyone is like, oh my God, this is me. Oh my God, this is me. Oh my God, this is me, right? And you think that you start thinking that you have everything that's going on. Okay, well, that's kind of like, narcissistic personality disorder. Everybody has a little touch of it. But where do you draw the line, right? Where do you draw the line between narcissism and high self-esteem? Or narcissism and extroversion? Or narcissism and just enjoying yourself as a person, right? Self-care, self-love. There was a question that I saw... Oh, that's our drama queen of the day. Refused to get off screen. Ding, 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 ding. But, I saw something on YouTube the other day. Not on YouTube. It was on their Twitter feed. And it said, do you... Basically, the question was, do you enjoy the sound of your own voice when editing? Is that the worst part of the content creation or the best? And my response to that was, look, honestly, I love the way I sound, right? I like the way I sound, and it's mostly because I've honed the way that I sound over the years through acting and broadcasting and lessons and vocal training and singing and all that stuff. I've spent a very long time in my life kind of honing and crafting the way that my voice sounds. And so it's a reward, right? And you say, well, that's a little narcissistic. Well, yes. Okay, number one, I'm not denying that I'm a narcissist, but two, it's kind of like if you're a piano player or a guitar player or an artist, like you're a painter or something. Ooh! you are toast. But, you know, if you're any kind of artist or a driver, you're a really good driver, or you're really good at whatever, right? Do you enjoy doing that, right? Do you enjoy the music that you make if you have a piano and you're sitting there and you're accomplished as a pianist? Easy, I said pianist. Let's hope that the subtitles caught that correctly. But let's say you can play piano really well. Do you sit there and you play the piano and you're like, yeah, right? You're just really enjoying it. You're getting into it. Or do you sit there and you play the music and you go, yes, this is proficient. I am now better at playing piano for doing this for a certain period of time. No, you know what? I bet you probably enjoy the way that you sound when you play music. Well, that's the same thing for me. And it's a consequence of being in broadcasting that if you don't like the way you sound, ew, get off of there, get off. Oh no, we have ostrich people. But if you don't like the way you sound in broadcasting, you're kind of screwed, because you're gonna have to hear yourself a lot. Because you're doing commercials and you're doing live stuff. You listen to yourself in headphones as you broadcast, right? So that's another thing. If you don't enjoy the way you sound, you're going to have trouble. So where do we draw the line, right? I enjoy listening to myself in my voice when I'm editing. Does that mean that I'm a narcissist? Okay, let's ignore the fact that I actually am, right? Let's go on to the fact that it's not abnormal to enjoy yourself. But does that make you a narcissist? No. It makes you someone who enjoys yourself, right? When does it become a problem? Well, we'll get to that in a second. Here's why I think narcissism is somewhat important. I think narcissism is the root of self-esteem. I think narcissism is the root of self-esteem. It allows you to love yourself to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm pretty awesome, right? The point where it becomes a little bad is when you start actually believing that you are better than other people because you're so amazing, because you're so intelligent, because you're so brilliant, because you're so clever, because you have so many great ideas, because you're so much more skilled than someone at something, right? That you kind of put their needs and their abilities aside in order for you to shine, right? Are you the kind of person that you sit there in a conversation with somebody or a group of people and you can't wait to inject your thoughts into them, right? Ooh, malice. You can't wait to, stop and say what you want to say. Well, we've all done that, but if it's something that every single time that you're out with someone, you can't, you're not even paying attention to what they're saying because you have to say what you want to say because you're so brilliant. I have these brilliant thoughts on what we're talking about. And so I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to say what I want to say in this and screw what you guys think, right? That is a sign of narcissism. But it allows you to have those thoughts to begin with. The point is, when it starts to dominate, just like any other thing, right? When I talked about sociopathy in the other episode where I discussed that, everyone has a darkness. Everyone has a definite darkness to them. That's why shows like Dexter and shows like any disaster movie or show or whatever, those are popular because we all have a little bit of darkness in us. But when that darkness overcomes everything and becomes overwhelming, becomes the only thing in your life, that's when it becomes a condition, something that you want to go get help for. But I think we have created the situation through social media and through technology and stuff. We've created this situation where we are just a narcissistic population, right? I always think it's funny. I'm not being a hipster here, like I did it before it was cool or anything like that. But like selfies, right? When we had just film cameras, when cell phones were nothing more than a handset with a wire that was connected to a bag that was essentially a transmitter and a battery pack, right? Old cell phones. Nothing, having a camera on a cell phone was not even a thing at that point, right? When it was film cameras only, I used to have a habit. Wow, I'm smashing heads all day. I used to have a habit of taking that camera, and no matter where I was, if I was driving down the highway at 90 miles an hour, or I was on a roller coaster or wherever, I'd pull out my camera and I'd do a selfie, right? And it would be just me making a stupid face or whatever. A lot of the early pictures of myself are that kind of selfie, right? I'd be at some monument or something and I would take a picture of myself with the monument. It was mostly at that point because I was such an introvert that I didn't want to ask anyone to take my picture, and so it was more like convenience for when I was traveling. So it's like, you know, other people would see me taking a picture of myself like with the Eiffel Tower in the background, and they're like looking at me like I'm a weirdo. Like, dude, you don't have anyone that can take the picture for you? Now it's like go to any landmark and it's just someone filming themselves constantly, right? Or it's, you know, this sort of thing. They have some camera mounted up on their glasses or something, so, you know, you see what they're seeing. God, so selfies. I think selfies have become this thing where we have to see ourselves in different environments, I guess, to validate ourselves. But then you get into things like the beauty filters on Snapchat, right? So if you're not, you know, you didn't do your makeup, or you're not feeling especially pretty that day, or you didn't do your hair right or something, or you know, the lighting conditions make you look a little ghoulish or whatever, you can adjust it all with a filter, right? You can make yourself look better. But then you start to obsess about how those filters make you look. You start to obsess about the way that you look in those posts, right? And you want to create the perfect selfie. The one where you go, there you go. The one where you look the prettiest and you've got the best background, or let's say you've got the perfect bagel and cream cheese sitting in front of you and you're posing with it or whatever, right? Go and scroll through Instagram, Snapchat, any social media feed, Twitter, stuff like that. You will see full-on narcissism. And here's where it becomes the problem. You and I can both identify. You're sitting there and you've probably scrolled through Snapchat or Instagram or Facebook or whatever you use, right? You've probably scrolled through those at some point, and you see all those people, and they're just nothing but pictures of themselves doing things in the world. And you start to wonder, does this person have an issue, right? It seems like all they care about is the experience of taking a picture of themselves somewhere in the world. When it becomes that sort of situation where you value being able to take a picture of yourself somewhere more than you do yourself or the world in general, well, then you might have someone that has a problem with narcissism. So, narcissism is a thing on the internet. It's a thing in our society right now because a lot of people are being told, you're special, you're special, you're special, you're special. Okay? I addressed this in another video. I think it was a little while back where I talk about narcissism. Well, no, about what is it? You know what? Never mind. But I do address that we all have a bit of that narcissism in us because we have to. We have to be able to love ourselves to the point where we enjoy who we are. The problem is, when it dominates everything that you have going on, then it's an issue. Now, why is narcissism dangerous? Well, if you're in a situation like you're in a relationship with somebody, if you are someone who has a huge issue with being a narcissist, you're going to put your needs before anybody else's in that relationship. You're going to treat them a certain way, like you're the one that's right and they're the one that's wrong most of the time. And you get a lot of passive-aggressive behavior going on. You know, we're like, well, I guess, you know, if you don't want to go with my advice, it can damage the relationship through you're trying to say that you're the superior person no matter what. Now, I have had, stop enchanting my weapons. I have had relationships in the past where I have damaged them through that kind of behavior. where I have been, I'm Mr. Me and I know what I'm doing and I'm going to be the one that tells you exactly what's going on and I'm not going to listen to your opinion on things. That has damaged so many situations for me. It has damaged jobs and personal relationships and family relationships. But when can you identify a narcissist? Are you a narcissist? Do you know, right? Are you just someone that has high self-esteem and you enjoy going and doing things and being the star of the show, right? I'm one of those people that, although I'm very shy, extremely shy, I'm the kind of person that if I get a chance to be in front of people, for whatever legitimate reason, right? I had a chance to, this was a few years back now, I had a chance to read at a concert the night before Christmas, right? I was the narrator for the night before Christmas. And I was like, I hadn't done anything on stage in a while. And for me, it was all like, I have to dress perfect, I have to look perfect, I have to be the perfect narrator who does things perfectly. But more than that, I was like, yeah, everyone's going to get to see me on stage. Okay? Now, it doesn't get to the point now. I have honestly matured. Oh, we have another drama queen of the day. Ding, 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 ding. I have gotten to the point where I've been able to control most of the instances of narcissism. But the thing is, look at my channel, right? My channel is essentially me telling stories about my life, okay? Me sharing crazy things that have happened, or my thoughts on things like this, on narcissism. And is that something that you would include in a description of someone who is narcissist? Would you say that I have narcissistic personality disorder because I have a channel that's pretty much focused on things that I've done? Well, it's funny you should ask. Again, like I said, I'm a diagnosed sociopath and narcissist and a whole litany of things. Man, if you saw my diagnosis list. But the thing is, I learned how to cope with it. I learned how to deal with it. Would you say that I'm a narcissist from watching my channel? And before you don't want to judge me harshly and say, oh, well, I don't want to call Orpheus a narcissist because that's a bad thing to say. Here's what I want you to understand. You right there. I want you to understand. If you think that about me, I'm totally cool with it. Because one of the things about a narcissist that is paramount above all and has served me really well in my life is we're charming. Right? That goes along with the antisocial personality disorder and with the sociopathy. People like me are very charming, and we can be very persuasive, and we can very much make you think certain ways, manipulate your thoughts and your feelings. Well, I will never do that to you, at least not intentionally, all right? It's built into who I am. I have a personality that's a little crazy. You've seen it. So I think that's kind of the thing. You look at all these YouTube channels and all these people that are these big personalities. Look, I have t-shirts with my name and my face on them. Does that make me a narcissist? Sort of. Is it something where someone creates a brand name for themselves? Are they a narcissist because of that? Well, if it takes over their entire life, their entire personality, and everything they become because they've changed to become that person that they love being, maybe that's narcissism. Do you suffer from that? Where do you draw the line? Right? Do you hurt people with your narcissism if you have it? You have a little bit. I promise you do. But, If you need help with anything like that, if you find it's starting to take over your life, take over your thoughts, where you feel like you're the most awesome person ever and you're starting to learn that it's making it a problem to be friends with people, go find some help with it. Honestly, so much help is available. You can find help anywhere. Anyway, that's my little blurb. Leave a comment below. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Leave a comment below. Are you a narcissist? Do you know someone who's a narcissist? Would you say that I'm a narcissist? I don't really care if you think that because, look, it just means that I'm more entertaining, right? I guess. I don't know. But we'll see you in the next one. Do well, continue to do well, and treat yourself well. Because you know what? You deserve it. Yes, you do. You are the most important person in your life, Mr. Narcissist or Mrs. Narcissist or Person Narcissist. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.